Hi guys, in this video I'm going to be solving this TypeScript in action challenge, which is one of the first TypeScript challenges in the Pairwise curriculum. So let's just go ahead and dive in here. So in this challenge we have some code in the editor here, and I can go ahead and try to run the code, but nothing happens, and I get this failure message down here. And if we look at the code itself, we have this red squiggle over this 100 right here. And if I hover over that, I see this message: argument of type number is not assignable to parameter of type string. So what's going on here? Let me just explain some of the context, because that will help, and this is one of the intro challenges. So this code in the editor is TypeScript, and TypeScript is a typed version of the JavaScript programming language. And what that means is that when you have values like this string right here, or this name argument, or this number right here, those values have an associated data type with them. In other words, TypeScript knows what type these different variables or values are. And you can only do certain things with certain types of values. In regular JavaScript, this is not the case. There's no notion of types or type safety in JavaScript. And so you can do something like add a string to a number in regular JavaScript. And the problem with this is that you may get some kind of undefined behavior if you try to do something like that. Like a string in a program represents, basically you can think of it as like some kind of text. So for example, a sentence or a message to someone or even a book, these data types can be represented as strings. A number, on the other hand, is a number, like 5 or 10 or 100. And as we all are familiar with, you can do something like add two numbers together. 5 plus 5 is 10. And this operation makes sense. But what if I said, well, I have this book of text, and it's really just one big string, and I want to add 1,000 to it. This operation doesn't really make sense. What does it mean to add 1,000 to a string? So the basic idea is that you don't want to be able to do an operation like that in a programming language, because it fundamentally doesn't make sense. And there's really a lot of different examples like this where you would prefer the programming language to prevent you from doing things that you quote unquote shouldn't be able to do. So that's just a long-winded way of basically saying that this type error is telling us that we're passing in a number, because 100 represents a number data type in TypeScript, to this function, which is called say hello, where the argument is typed to be a string. So right here, we're saying that the type of this name argument is a string. And so we cannot pass any values to this function, which are not strings. And so what we want to do is we want to change the say hello invocation on line 5 to use a string value rather than a number. And to do that, we can just change this to be a string. And what we could do is we could change it to be the string 100. And we can do that just by adding quotes around it. So this is now a different data type. This is a string data type. And it is a string of the 100 number, but it's not the number itself. It's not the actual number data type. So we can do that. And let's go ahead and run the code again. And we will see that this passes the tests. And also, if I just want to kind of further demonstrate what's going on, I can say const result equals say hello. And then I'm going to go ahead and log out this result to the console. So if I do that and just clear this success message, we'll see over here this log output of hello, comma 100. And that's because we're passing in this 100 string, and then that is getting added to this other string. So here we are actually adding the two strings together. And this makes sense to be possible. If I'd say here's one string and here's another string, adding them together basically means combining them. And that's exactly what's happening here. So if I say instead, if I pass in a name like Sam, we will then see hello, Sam. So that is how to solve this challenge. And this is really introducing this basic notion of data types in TypeScript, and the notion that all of the data that you define or the functions that you use can have specific type information associated with them, and that helps to ensure that your programs work correctly. Okay, if you enjoyed this video, please like it and feel free to subscribe to the channel. We will have a lot more videos like this in the future, and if you want to work on some challenges like this on your own, feel free to jump over to Pairwise. We have hundreds of challenges just like this one here, and many of them, including the TypeScript challenges, are completely free, and the goal is to teach people how to program. All right, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.